Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi and today we're doing another pick a card. Before I get into the video, today is a very special day, and I'm saying that because today marks the second year, so it's been 2 years since I began my channel and posted my first ever video. So it's literally been 2 years. It's my channel's birthday today, so it's a special day, not just for me but for you guys, because you've literally been with me these whole 2 years, and I'm just so grateful for every single one of you that has just supported me so far, donated, just the lovely comments that you guys like post. I don't think even you guys realize how much they just make my day. They make me smile. Like, I really do just have love for all of you. And even just over the last 2 years, watching how much energetically, when I've tapped into my collective, like how much you've all grown with me, like it's so beautiful, and I'm just so grateful for all of you. So today is a big celebration, not just for me in this channel but for all of you that are here, because I just can't get over like 2 years. I know time doesn't exist, but like, oh my god, it's like that's a long time. Like, oh my god. So yeah, today's a great day, and basically the first ever video that I uploaded to my channel, which was called Messages from the Universe, that was the first ever video that I recorded, and I wanted to kind of replicate it and do another video with the same topic, just to kind of celebrate in that way. So that's what I wanted to do. So that's what we're doing today. We're taking a look at what messages the universe has for you today. So we have 3 piles. I was going to do 4, but Spirit were like, 3 is good. 3 should suffice. 3 is awesome. So I was like, okay, cool. So the first pile, we have the Dalmatian Jasper. The second pile, we have the Selenite Sophia. And the third pile, we have the Carnelian. So see which crystal you are drawn to. The timestamps are going to be in the description box as usual, and I will see you guys at your timestamp. Hey Pile 1, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what messages the universe has for you right now. So you guys chose the Dalmatian Jasper. I'm going to pop that up in the corner, and then we're going to get straight in. First off, guys, when I was actually tapping into your collective, a song came through. Now, I don't know if a lot of you guys are aware of the girl band in the UK. They were from like the 2000s. They're not like a group anymore, but they were called Girls Aloud, and there was a song that they did called When Life Got Cold. I don't know if it was a cover or whether it was like their original song. I'm not quite sure, but Life Got Cold came through while I was tapping into your collective. So if you are drawn to listen to that, you can. But really what that song is about is when someone's seeing the darker side of things, seeing the feeling quite low vibrational or feeling a little bit depressed, and then looking for that light. And that was a song that came through when I tapped into your collective. So there is this feeling that a lot of you guys may currently just be feeling a little bit, you know what, it doesn't even feel like, okay, I'm feeling a little bit depressed right now, I'm feeling low. It more so feels like bogged down. Like I feel bogged down, like maybe I've got a lot of responsibilities, or maybe there's just, it feels like there's a lot in my energy field, or I'm just tired. There's almost this feeling when I'm tapping into collective, like I feel tired right now. I feel like I want to sleep. I feel like I want to rest, or even like lethargic or like apathetic. There's just this feeling of like, oh, I don't know. I don't really know what I want. I feel kind of low right now. I feel tired. There's a feeling of that coming through. And I want to say, when we feel that, the reason that that feeling is usually happening is normally because there's a certain energy center, there's a certain energetic body that is alchemizing. And usually when we feel a little bit apathetic and we're not really connected to our emotions and seeing the lighter side, it's usually because either the crown chakra or the psychic side of us, the spiritual side of us, the spiritual body, or the emotional body is going through an alchemization right now. Whether that means it's being shut off to be turned back on, like a reboot when we get upgraded in that certain area, when we've done that shadow work or we've done that inner work there and it's shut down to kind of reboot. Or it's just that there's a lot of alchemization going on right now, and those emotions are coming up from your old timeline for you to finally transmute them. There is a feeling like that coming through for you guys as well, Pile 1. So even when you may not feel like you're doing a lot, but you feel like you need to rest, just because you can't see a lot of what's going on energetically, it doesn't mean that you're not actually doing a lot internally. And I feel like this is your green light to make sure that you are resting when you need to and not feeling guilty for doing that, especially if you have like a full-time job as well and then you're feeling tired. That's a lot of energy you're processing right now. You're working physically and then you've got a lot going on energetically, so make sure when you can, you are resting, and don't bully yourself for wanting to take that rest. Is a strong message coming through, pile one. What message does the universe have? I heard a noise and my windows open and it was outside, but I thought it was in my room and I was like, where is that coming from? But it was from outside and it took me out of my energy for a sec, so it's just kind of grounding back in. So spirit guides, what message does the universe have for my pile number ones right now? We have the 10 of Wands. What message does the universe have for my pile ones right now? Please, spirit guides. What message does the universe have for my pile number ones? Tapping into my pile number ones. What message? We have the 2 of Wands. They're showing me, like, you know when you have like a new game, I don't know what it's, I don't play like video games anymore, but I remember like back in the day, when you'd have like a new computer game or you'd have like a new like PlayStation game, and then like you're so excited to play it, but you have to wait for everything to load up, and it's like it says like loading at the beginning, and like you have to like install it onto the computer, or you have to like set the whole thing up, and like, you know, there's like a feeling of that. There's almost this feeling of like you guys feeling like you need to rush forward right now, or like I know there's something beyond this, but I feel kind of like bound to where I'm at right now. Whereas like what I'm being shown is somebody sitting in like a room. It's that they're showing me it like a room, and then I'm being shown a computer screen saying loading, and there's like this door that's like building itself up, but it's like all you can see is loading. So you're like getting angsty, and like there's some things just coming up that you're focusing on right now, and you're just feeling a little bit tired, and I feel like your energy's loading right now, but I also feel like this door in front of you is loading, and then there's going to come a point where it's going to reach 100% and the door is going to open. But there's almost this feeling of like, there's this feeling of feeling very 2D right now, or 3D right now. I'm feeling like, is this all there is? Is this it? But it's like you're being upgraded, but it's like this door is waiting to be alchemized and opened, and it's nothing that like you even have to do. All Spirit wants you to do right now is rest back, and whatever's coming up while you're waiting for this door to open, allow it to just transmute and move past you. It's 44 on the clock as well. I'm not going to lean over because I know I'm going to knock things, but it's 44 minutes past on the clock. So if that's an angel number you've been seeing, that's a message coming through. But I do feel like spirits around you quite strong right now. And it's funny because it's like, I don't feel like you're in a cocoon. Like, you know, when you've done that alchemizing and you're in this cocoon, I don't feel like you're in a cocoon. I just feel like you've come out of the cocoon, but you're just kind of like stood, and it's like you're waiting for like the race, like the person in the race to go so you can run forward. I feel like there's a feeling of that coming through right now. Yeah, I just keep being shown loading. Like you've jumped from one paradigm to the other and you're just waiting for it to like all kind of be ready, sort of thing. It's almost like making me feel like I'm really hungry, and then it's like I'm even feeling faint because I'm so hungry, and I'm walking past the oven waiting for the ting, and it's just not happening yet, and I'm just kind of like waiting for it to go ting. Like that's how I feel. They're showing me Donkey from Shrek, and he's like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? When they're gonna far away. There is a feeling of that coming through. Pile number one, please, spirit guides. What message does the universe have for my pile ones? Oh wow, every card fell. Then I'm not going to use every card, but that was a bunch of energy that just kind of came through. Okay, I feel like life is about to speed up soon, pile one. Life's about to speed up, and I feel like that's why you're being called to like kind of recalibrate. That's the word that I was looking for, recalibrate. Pile number one. What message does the universe have for my pile ones right now? We have the World. Yeah, a cycle's reaching its completion. You're tying up a cycle in your life with a bow right now. And when something reaches its completion, which we have next, which is the Death card, it's transformation onto a new path, and that's literally what I feel is happening for you. We have the Lovers as well at the back of the deck. Okay. Spirit guides, what messages does the universe have for my pile ones, please? This last phase that you've been on, and I feel like it's something that you're recalibrating from right now, it was a phase in your life, may have lasted for 5 years, may have lasted, I'm being told like 5 or 3, but there's this feeling of like you're coming out of a phase, or that they're talking to me in the sense of like, this is the old timeline that they were on. We're not even connected to that old timeline anymore. We've literally jumped off it. So they're almost pointing to like a land across the sea, and it's like, we were here and we put a lot of our energy into others. So when we were on that little island, before we could move to this island, we had to get all of those pieces of ourselves back. So what we've been doing while we've been, like, you know, crossing the sea and coming to this island, we've been going back to everyone that we feel we've still got unfinished business with, or that we still are connected to, or we're still thinking of, and we're pulling those energies back where we felt disempowered by them. So maybe somebody had cheated on you and you always thought back to them, but it wasn't that you wanted them back, you wanted that part of yourself back. So there's this feeling of you guys doing that and pulling bits back to you, and just pulling that empowerment back to you, and realizing, you know what, when I was 6 years old and that person treated me like that, or that bully treated me like that, or my parent treated me like that, I took on that as shame, and that should never been within me. And I feel like there's a lot of that's been going on, where you've been like really getting triggered over the last couple of years, but it's been having you alchemize those things. They've been coming up for a reason for you to go, oh my God, remember when that person hurt me when I was 13? I took on guilt from that, and you know what? That guilt doesn't belong to me, and it's actually a distortion of my own power. I am going to alchemize that. So it's like shadow periods and inner work that's been done, and just unhooking yourself from maybe words other people have said, hurts and pains that you've had with other people. I feel like that's something that you've been doing, and it's almost, I feel like it's been done. So when you now get on that boat and you're sailing towards this new island that you're about to step onto, of course, because again, water symbolizing emotion, because you've released and let go of a lot, now it's coming up for you to just kind of like fully purge it out of your being. And I feel like that's the phase that you're in right now, and it's a phase that you've been in where it's like, there's a lot of little inklings coming up in my brain of like, remember when this person did this to me, remember when that person did that to me, and then you're thinking, well, why am I thinking of that person from 7th grade that did that? Why am I thinking of these things? But there's an emotion attached to it, and there's an energy right now, Pal 1, a message from the universe of, while this completion in this chapter is wrapping up, anything that comes up into your conscious awareness, even if it sounds like something silly and you're like, I don't know why I'm crying about that, allow it to just pass through you, and allow yourself to look at these emotions like visitors. Do not attach yourself to them. Allow yourself to feel whatever's coming up, because that's your inner child, or even your inner teenager, because I feel like you've been healing your inner teenager too. That's your inner child and your inner teenager cleansing and finally allowing these emotions to pass through, so that you can fully step into your essence and fully step into your power. And that's something that's happening right now as you're sailing those seas, moving over to this next island. And that's why maybe you're thinking, is this all that there is? Because you're sailing across the sea and that island isn't in sight yet, but that island is on the horizon. That's why Spirit was saying loading. And right now, I feel like right now is the time to be maybe a little passive. And by the sense of passive, I don't mean being lazy or anything like that. You're just being called right now to be in the state of receiving, because not only are these parts of your subconscious coming into your conscious awareness for you to finally feel them and allow them to float away, but in this time period it's vital because you're also having spiritual upgrades, and I feel like certain psychic gifts, or maybe even aha moments or enlightenment periods, are also coming through, and they're kind of integrating into your being too. So there's this energy of being in this energy of receiving, because I also feel while you're in that energy of receiving, while you're moving through those waters, I do feel like little bits of manifestations are about to come in as you're opening up to them and being in the energy of receiving. The universe is now teaching you to be in the energy of receiving and really see what the universe can do for us, because I feel like you've been doing a lot. And do you want to know what Spirit's actually saying? And it's coming through like like the energy of the universe is coming through, and it's like you've been working in tandem with the universe. So I don't know whether you work in the sense of like a counselor, a therapist, a channeler, a tarot reader, a Reiki healer. Maybe you just are creative, you're into the creative side, because I'm really being taken to creativity. Maybe you're a comedian, you make people laugh. Whatever the sense, there's an essence of you already working in tandem with the universe. And it's like, well, not only have you been really in go mode and give mode to so many people, but you've also been working in tandem with me. You've also been doing for me, because you've been allowing that essence of the universe to work through you to help others. So now it's time to be in that receiving energy and get all of that back, because it's a yin yang, it's an up and down. When we reach our low lows, we reach our high highs. So there's this essence of the universe saying like, I've taken note, like you've really helped people. And it's almost like an applaud coming through. Pile number one of the amount of people that you've helped grow, the amount of people that you've helped alchemize, the amount of people that you've helped maybe just laugh, like just being there for friends, really given to people, really help people see a higher perspective. Or maybe you've had to be the bad guy in situations where you've had to alchemize and put in boundaries with people, but it's taught them to respect that, and it's taught you to become the best version of you. Maybe you've been alchemizing generational karma, and maybe that's something that you've been working on, and in turn, yes, you're doing it for you, but you're also doing it for all of the people behind you anyway, all of the people that were before you, generations back, that weren't able to do that. You've been doing that. And there's this reference of the universe saying like, your sincerity and like your truth and that vulnerability in your heart, it's not being taken for granted, because as per the universe, that doesn't happen. You're now being taken to that energy of receiving. So when you reach this new island, there's all this fresh mango and all these fresh fruits, and it's like you've already sown the seeds on that other island. Now you're receiving new abundance, and that's coming in. And that's why the universe wants you to be in the energy of that passivity right now, because while you're allowing these energies to flow through, you're also going through a little bit of a flush, it feels right now, where there's like, you may find like you're weeping for no reason. That's a message that just came through. You may find that you're weeping for no reason, or you're just crying for no reason, or sometimes you're just feeling a little bit hopeless, and it's only because there's a flush happening of emotions right now that's kind of like restoring you. You know, there's a lot of like restoration happening for you right now as you're moving into this new phase. So right now it's just this energy of being passive right now, and just allowing these things to come through, and you'll know intuitively, and you'll know in your own energetic body when it's time to jump up and start sowing seeds or run forward again. But right now, I'm not saying, if you're already in that energy where you're ready to jump forward, do it. But if you are feeling tired, don't swim against the current with this 10 of wands, because even when you look at the 2 of wands, it's like looking at the other side of the world, looking at the other perspective, and I feel like that's where you're being shifted to right now with this completion happening. So there's a lot of transformations going on in your energy right now, pile number one. Why do we have the Lovers at the back of the deck, Spirit? Why is the Lovers all the way at the back of the deck? Have you been okay, you know, the past, this could go on for beyond 5 years. They're not really giving me a timing. You know, a lot of the lessons you have been learning, a lot of the wounds that you have been alchemizing, were they to do with like other people, in the sense that you would have gone through a time period where maybe you're someone that's an introvert, or maybe you are an extrovert, but there's just this feeling of like, there would have been a time period where a lot of people triggered you, or maybe did you dirty, or like really hurt you in ways, and it wasn't just one person, it was like friendships, connections with people. Maybe there was more than one, maybe there was like 3 different people that really hurt you, but in different ways, because it's almost this feeling of like, this person's coming into my life and I'm having a set of experiences with them, and they're triggering this wound that connects to maybe when I was bullied or something, but then this other person's coming in and they're triggering my fear of being vulnerable, but then this other and it's like lots of triggers that are making you aware of your shadow. And I feel like you would have been through a time period where maybe you were feeling a little bit reckless and just doing things a little bit reckless. Maybe you were just living in your shadow, or maybe you were just getting hurt by people a lot until you finally were like, let's cut this, let's go within and see why on earth this is happening. Because either way, I feel like it needed to happen to trigger things that were really laying deep in your subconscious that would have come from childhood and early teens, maybe late teens as well. But that's something like that's a period you would have gone through. And I feel like a lot of those souls, and do you know what it is? I feel like it's taken you a while to take your energy off those souls, because these souls that you would have learned these heavy lessons with, you know what it is? They're actually part of your soul family. And we have big soul families. It's not just like, oh, there's 10 of us. Like, there can be like hundreds of us in a soul family. And I just feel like this group of souls that would have hurt you, you really not only saw the light in them, but you felt their spirit. You felt your soulful connection to them. Like, you really did. And I feel like that's why it's taken a while for you to maybe separate yourself from them or pull part of yourself from them, because it's like, I'm alchemizing, but I don't see them doing it. Maybe I should help them. Maybe you went through a phase where you had broken bird syndrome. And the thing is that these souls, they are part of your soul tribe, but both of your souls chose to go through certain experiences to learn and teach each other to become the best version of yourselves. And I feel like you're such a healer and somebody that wants to give and fix others, because I feel like you have that innate healing energy within you. And I feel like it was hard for you to like walk away from certain souls, because it was like, this feels like my brother, this feels like my, you know, partner. Like, it could be someone that was like a karmic wound mate, but then it felt like a soulmate. And in ways they were a soulmate, but they didn't choose to do that inner work, and you had someone else moving forward. But it was almost like, I feel wrong to leave you there, I feel wrong to let go of you, I feel wrong to separate myself from you. And I feel like that's something that it's taken you a while to really let go, because letting go doesn't mean they're gone, and there's no such thing as separate. We're all interconnected anyway, soul family. But I feel like it's taken you a while to really pull your energies off certain people. And I feel like where you are right now, I feel like you've detached from pretty much anyone that wasn't supposed to be on this new path for you. But I just feel like there's just some emotions from your it feels like inner teenager, inner child, like bits of anger or sadness or something like that, and it's just all flowing through. It's nothing that's necessarily clogged. It's like you've pulled out the the debris, you've pulled out as much of it as you can, and just while you're being flushed, it feels little bits are coming up, and just Spirit's saying, allow them to flow like water. Allow them to flow like water. Just let them come out. If you want to write, what you're feeling down, if you like to do that, if you just want to say it out loud. I like to say it out loud. I like to just speak out loud and be like, this is how I'm feeling, and I'll kind of interview myself in ways I do that. But whatever it takes for that, even if you want to listen to music that triggers maybe that wound or that feeling of sadness within you, so that you can really tap into it and allow it to flow out, you know what I mean? That's something that's really coming through, because this new phase, I feel like you're learning to I feel like you're going to tap into a lot of people that are very much like you, spiritually aware. You're definitely spiritually aware. I can feel it. Strong crown chakras you guys have, actually, like, which for that means like a strong connection to the divine. And I feel like that's why you were seeing the light in people, of course. But with the Lover's card at the back of the deck, I feel like you're learning to balance that energy out and know that you can't heal everybody, and know that nobody outside of you can not only determine who you are, but no one outside of you can take your power away. And if they do, if it feels like they have, it's only a distortion, and you can alchemize that back. You're always in your power, and it's people's distortions that keep us away from it, because they may project something onto us that we may align with. And I feel like you're stepping away from that time period where you aligned with other people's words and aligned with what other people were saying, so that you can fully come into your truth. So moving forward, it's like when you're connecting with other people, you're not necessarily merging with them and merging onto their ideas. You're still solid in yourself, because you know who you are and you have your own ideas of what life is, but you're not merging into them and maybe taking on their energy when you don't need to. I feel like you've really learned to balance that out and know who you are and ground yourself, so that your connections with other people are more healthier, and you're seen more as an individual instead of someone that can be instead of having people coming up to you and trying to take something from you or take you out of something for their own gain. It's like you're standing firm in yourself moving forward. And I feel like that's the journey you've been on, really. So this phase right now, it's like, allow that passive time, and don't align with the passive time. What I mean by that is, don't look at life and think this is all that there is. I'm just going to be feeling low. I'm going to be feeling these feelings. Don't fixate on a certain emotion, just allow it to flow. For example, 3 weeks ago, I had a burst of energy. I was feeling great. And I remember telling myself, don't fixate on this energy. Just enjoy it in the moment, because we don't know when we're going to like fall back or something, you know? And quite frankly, 2 weeks later, and it's like you kind of like fall back and it's like, oh, there's something I'm processing now. And it just happens. But either way, don't fixate on either, because in this lifetime and in energy anyway, it always alchemizes, it always shifts. So it's like, go with the flow. There's an essence of that coming through. So let's pull your oracle cards. Which one shall I pull first? I'll pull the C ones first. I love these cards. I got them the other day, and I'm like a sucker for cards when they have this part, the foil on the sides. Love that. But yeah, this is like probably my favorite deck at the moment. I'm obsessed with it. So let's pull this one first. Pile number 1. What messages does the universe have for pile number 1? Spirit guides, what messages do... Okay. We have 33, Shark Spirit, Clearer Perspective. I don't feel like you're in the murky waters anymore. I don't feel, and when I say murky waters, I always relate to shadow work as like going down into the murky waters. You don't really know what's going to come of it, but you know that there's something down there you need to realize, and you have to kind of like go down there and see what's down there. And that's kind of like the subconscious where everything is. And when I tap into people that are really in the midst of doing their shadow work, I can see them in those murky waters. That's how spirit like to show me. And I don't see that you're in those murky waters. I feel like you found a lot of clarity where you're at right now. With the clearer perspective, I think it's just more I feel like you're in a little bit of a confusing time, and only because I feel just like little parts of yourself are coming back to you. And I feel like, with that being said, with this kind of like soul retrieval, and it's not even like you've gone anywhere to get soul retrieval. Maybe you have, but I just see someone standing there calling those parts back to themselves. But as these parts are coming back, you're naturally going to dissect them, and there's going to be a question of like, it's something I'm going through right now, and a question of who am I? But I feel like you're at that level of like, who am I? Where am I even going? What do I even want? And it's like, it's because a lot of that distortion is starting to fall away. And now you're like, oh, well, what does this version of me want then? I don't even know what this version of me wants. What will make this version of me happy? I'm not even quite sure, you know? There's like a feeling of that coming through. I feel like you're in a bit of a... It feels like you're confused, but it's not confusion, Spirit's saying. It's... I just heard Getting to Know You. What was that in? Sound of Music or something? I don't know. There was a song called Getting to Know You. That's the only word I know from it, though. I don't know. But that came through. Like, I just feel like you're getting to know yourself in, like, a whole new way now. You've been so connected to that old version of you, and now that it's transmuted, it's like, well, who am I? Like, there's a question of that. And that's why Spirit's saying to be passive, because you're bringing these new parts back to yourself. New awareness back to yourself. Pile number 1. Oh, card just fell on the floor. Let me grab it. We have the Seahorse Spirit, number 31. Create the unexpected. I've got a feeling this next phase of your life is going to look completely different to the period that you've just stepped away from. It does feel like that. What am I doing with this camera? Have I just like... I don't know what I just did with the camera then. But yeah, I feel like this new phase in your life, there's a lot of like, I feel excited. I feel like I'm picking up your spirit team kind of feeling excited. But there is just this energy coming through of like, there's a lot of newness, there's a lot of freshness. And I feel like you're even going to be shocked. Like, I don't know, in your the past time periods of your life, you were maybe quite fixed and quite anchored into like, your reality and not like in change. Because it's funny, like this next phase of your life is going to be a lot more fluid, and I feel like you're going to be a lot more confident in the things that you do, and I feel like, and even the things that you say, and I feel like you're going to do things that you wouldn't normally do. Like, boom, I'm going to go take this course. Boom, I think I'm going to travel. oh, I'm just gonna like go out on a limb here and chat up this person that I find attractive. Like, I feel like there's part of yourself that have always been within you, but maybe you were too shy or too scared to like tap into, because I feel like in the past maybe you dimmed your light a little bit, whereas in this phase of your life it's like, try it, you know, try it. The way I can think of it is I had a lot of disruption in my childhood, so I was very nervous and I was very fearful, and when I'd be in the house on my own, I'd like lock the doors. I was really scared if somebody knocked the door. And even if I did open the door and it was nothing bad, like I would still be quite fearful. And obviously I've alchemized a lot. I've done a lot of shadow work. And I was in the house on my own, and there's like a knock on the door, and I answered it. And the guy did seem a little bit sketchy, I'm not going to lie. And he handed me my parcel and I said, thank you. And he was looking at me weird. And I'd shut the door, and the first instinct naturally was, oh, I should be careful. But there was just this overwhelming confidence within me that was like, I could take him on anyway. Why would I be fearful of that? And I just remember like laughing to myself, like, years ago, I would have been so fearful. I would have been like, lock the door, shut the windows, turn the TV. And I was just like, I could take him on. Don't worry about that. I could take him on. And it was just funny, the comparison. And do you know what I mean? After the healing took place, I was very fearless. And it was just those little things. And I feel like you're going to find a lot of synchronicities like that in your life, maybe not like mine, but just things like that where maybe you would have dimmed your life light. Now you're about to shine it out. Like, there's a feeling of that coming through. What do we have at the back of the deck of this deck? The Dolphin Spirit. Activate more bliss. Activate more bliss. Yeah, I do see a lot of abundance coming in. And when I say abundance, like, it doesn't have to be physical abundance. It's more so you just feeling in your power is something that I'm being told. You just feeling in your power. Right now, though, I'm being told you're just in this kind of like 2D, 3D feeling of like, is this it? I don't feel great. I don't feel expansive. I don't feel like that. And I do feel there may be a reboot going on in your crown chakra. Like, I find sometimes when I'm in a state of like spirits downloading a lot of messages to me, and a lot of there's like a lot of activation codes like I channeled in that time, and I'll feel like my crown chakra is really open, and I'll just be like taking it all in, and I can't even shut my crown chakra off. I have to really ground. But I get a lot of like aha moments, and then what happens is my body's got to get used to that, and normally after that period I'll go into like a week or 2 or maybe 3 weeks where I just feel like I've flatlined a little bit, and it's just because my body and my other bodies, my physical body, my mental body, are being kind of rebooted to that new paradigm that I've just kind of like taken in by channeling. So I feel like that's something you may be going through right now, but I do feel as well it's more so to do with the emotional body. Like, maybe you've just purged a lot, or there's like a lot that's gone on, and I feel like I feel like it's like your heart chakra maybe being rebooted right now. Maybe you're not seeing the light of things right now, or maybe even your sacral chakra. There's maybe even your solar plexus. Like, I'm not really being taken to a specific chakra here. It's different ones for all of you. But that's what I'm being told. Wherever you're feeling everything feels a bit 2D, that's where it's coming in. You know, maybe you're feeling a little less confident. That's where maybe you're having the reboot. Maybe you're feeling disconnected to the higher realms, the crown chakra, maybe where you're having the reboot, and so on. So that's something that I do see happening. But when the reboot's over and everything's installed, you know what I mean? You're kind of back reconnected, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. Pal number 1, what message does the universe have for my pal ones? We have Ivy. Look at that. Okay, what I'm actually being told with that card is for you guys to make sure that you're grounding right now. I don't know if have you not been meditating as much as you would like to? There's a spirit guide coming through, kind of like, no, they haven't. no, Lexi, they have not. Like, it's coming through, but it's in a funny way. They're not telling you off. It's just coming through like, no, they've been skipping it. There's this essence of you making sure that you are grounding right now. It doesn't have to be meditating, though I do feel really getting into that meditative state will help you make more sense of certain emotions that are coming up to be alchemized, or insecurities coming up to be alchemized, because you'll be able to see them clearer without the clutter of maybe the human brain trying to dissect it and tell you what's wrong or we shouldn't be feeling it. I feel like if you do, at least for 5 minutes a day or maybe 10 minutes a day, just get into that meditative state and really look at what you're really feeling, because I feel like that would help you kind of like usher it through instead of it getting clogged. I don't feel like it's getting clogged for you guys, but just if you are feeling a little bit heavy, I do feel like that would really help. More so, I feel like a lot of you guys would benefit from it in the morning, because I'm being told some of you guys, when you're waking up in the morning, you're either on your phone straight away. Some spirit guides, like, I'm calling them out, like, not in a bad way, like I'm calling you out, but just like it's in a jokey way, like they're going on their phone. Or you may just you may jump out of bed and just start worrying straight away. It could be something like that. So even though I do feel like you normally get into your meditative states in the evening, because I'm being told nighttime is when you'll really meditate. That's something I'm being told. It won't be for all of you, but that's something that's coming through. I am being told for you to just have a moment of silence, maybe do a bit of breath work, or maybe just have a 5-minute meditation in the morning, because I feel like that would be really helpful in grounding you as you go about your day. So that's something that's come through that. Pile number 1, messages from the universe, spirit guides, messages from the universe. We have Spirit Weaver. Look at all the chakras. She's doing that little yoga pose there. Look at all the chakras and how colourful the card is. Yeah, you're going through like a literal reboot. I feel like you're being aligned as you move towards this new phase. And like I said, they're taking me again, like I said at the beginning, to the loading phase. And as it's loading, I feel like you're having this flush so that you're ready and ready to be plugged into this new paradigm. That's something that's happening right now. But as we go through that flush, obviously certain things are going to come up just for us to alchemize. I don't think it's anything too heavy though. It may be for some of you, but for a lot of you, I just feel like it's happening and then it's moving and then it's happening. And it's these little things coming up. And I don't know why it's I'm being taken to the teenage years, like the inner teenager. I'm not necessarily being taken to the inner child. I feel like it's the inner child that had you align with your new paradigm. I just feel like it's your inner teenager kind of coming through. Things that would have happened in your teens that I feel like you're just kind of filtering through and allowing to alchemize. And we have light. So like I was saying about water and like you move into that new horizon, you can literally see her moving in water here. And we have the light with the sun here. So that's where you're moving towards. Maybe you've just been in a period for a while of like shadow work and you're like, where's this light? And I feel like this card is going to act as confirmation for you that it's on its way in. But yeah, that is what I got for you, my pal number ones. That is the message that the universe has for you right now. I really hope that you enjoy this reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I really hope this reading brought you clarity. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hey pal 2, welcome to your reading. So today we are taking a look at what messages the universe has for you. Now when I was tapping into your collective, guys, straight away, I don't know why this came through, but I saw Peter Pan, right? And you know when him and Wendy and the siblings, they kind of like fly into the sky and he says like second star to the right and straight on till morning. I think that's his saying. I was shown that, and there's another saying that he says about an adventure. I don't really know the word. It's something like I don't even know. It's like to live would be the greatest adventure, something like that, or to get lost would be the greatest adventure. I'm not actually quite sure, but that energy kind of came through, and it was like a playful energy that came through, but not in the sense of like, oh, it's just like my inner child being playful. It almost felt like a nomad energy. Like I feel like pal number 2, you're either about to embark on, or you are currently walking on a very new journey. And there's this feeling as well, like right now you may be feeling a little bit confused. You may not really feel comfortable in the skin that you're in. I'm hearing the Reflection song by Mulan, like everything feels different. It's like you feel like a snail that's kind of like grown out of its shell. Like there's a feeling of that, but I'm being told that you're on a new adventure. There's something about that, and you're learning about this new avatar and who you are. There's like a feeling of that, but it's coming right now because there's messages that I feel like are gonna come through this reading in the sense of bringing you comfort, because I feel like you're almost feeling a little bit uncomfortable right now. Like I feel this adventure, but then I'm also feeling like, oh my god, like I'm on this adventure. I don't even have a map. Like I don't even know where I'm going, what I'm doing. Like there is a feeling of that we're gonna get into. So You guys chose the selenite crystal. I'm going to pop that up in the corner. And we are going to get straight in. I'm going to start with tarot and then we'll move on to your oracle cards. So, spirit guides, tap me into the collective of my pile number 2s. I don't know why, like with your pile, I don't know how I tapped it. Like, there's just like a different energy when I'm tapping into your pile, because normally I'll just sit in an energy, whereas I almost feel like I'm at a desk and then it's like lots of souls in front of me, like higher selves. I've never had that happen. I don't know if that's a gift for me breaking through, like my mediumship coming through stronger or something like that, but it's almost like I can see a bunch of higher selves around. And if someone's wearing their hair in like a long plait or like a long braids, I just zoomed in on you. Like, that's just something I was showing, just like a female sitting in a chair with like a long braid or a long plait. Yeah, so that just came up, that just popped up. But pile, oh god, your cards, am I using them? No. Pile number 2, please, spirit guides. Pile number 2, what message does the universe have for my pile number 2s? What message does my pile number 2s need right now? What message does the universe have for my pile number 2s? Oh god. The cards are like running out of my hands. It's almost like I just want to channel and not pull. I'm going to pull anyway, just because I like to get the cards on the screen for you guys to see. But we have the 3 of Pentacles. Yeah, there's almost this feeling as well, like I don't want to read tarot. Like I either want to just completely channel, or just, it's almost like I can, like I said, I can see the collective of you and I just want to speak to you. Like that's how it's coming through. So my hands, I feel weird being in my human body. Like, how am I shuffling these cards? Which may be something that you're feeling right now. Like, you're almost feeling weird in your own physical body right now. Like, what, like, I feel like your likes have changed. What you used to like, what you used to love, like how you used to dress. There's something about something shifting within you, or even just your demeanor and the way you used to act or the way you used to think. There's something that's been shifted, or something that is currently shifting. You may be going through a void phase, and I feel like while that's happening, you may feel a bit weird in your physical body right now, but I'm being told to kind of let you know there's a transformation happening and you're alchemizing. That's what's happening. That's what's causing a bit of confusion right now, because there's a lot of newness coming in that you may be feeling a bit confused about. Like, there's a feeling of that. Pile number 2, please, spirit guides. Pile number 2, what message do my pile number 2s need today? What message does the universe have? Oh my god, you see how the cards, I cannot shuffle. Are you guys having trouble like shuffling? I'm being shown like the Little Mermaid when she had the fork and she was brushing her hair with it because she didn't know how it worked. There's this feeling of like trying to do humanly tasks, but I have no idea how to do them. Like, that's how I feel. So bear with me as I settle into the energy, because I may sound all over the place for a hot sec until I get into it. Pile number 2, what message does the universe have for my pile 2s? 8 of Swords. What message does the universe... I just heard Break Free by Ariana Grande. 5 of Wands, Knight of Wands, and the back of the deck we have the Empress. Okay. I just heard something's coming, something's growing. That's literally a word that I just shared. Something's coming, something's growing. Okay, spirit guides, what message does the universe have for my pile number 2s? Why have we got the 3 of Pentacles here with the 8 of Swords? What's going on? Let me just take a minute to sit in this energy, because I almost feel like there's this just feeling of confusion. Like, I can't make sense of everything. It's almost a bit like Alice in Wonderland, but it's almost like, normally when I feel this energy of Alice in Wonderland, it's like you're going into the other realms and you're feeling out of body, whereas I feel like you're almost present in the physical world, or looking at the physical world and looking at that as a wonderland. Like, there's a feeling of that coming through. Like, this world is not the world that it was like a couple of weeks ago, I swear. Like, I'm just seeing things very differently, and I think it's because I don't know whether you've been through a phase of enlightenment recently, or you've gone through it doesn't feel like shadow work. I feel like that's in the past. I feel like you've gone through a period of enlightenment, or you've gone through a spiritual upgrade. And I feel like you're kind of being booted back on, but it's almost coming through in like little snippets. Like, I feel like every so often you're receiving an upgrade, you're getting a lot of downloads, and then you're kind of like falling back so your body can understand it, and then you're receiving a lot of upgrades again and falling back a little bit. And every time that you're receiving more upgrades, you're looking at life a little bit differently, because it's like more of your higher self coming through. So you're looking at it like more from an elevated point of view and an elevated point of view. That's how it's coming through. And I see you guys getting almost confused then, and like, what world am I in? Like, I just feel like everything's upside down. There is a feeling of that, but there's a reason that you're feeling it. And I don't feel like this, would I call it a reboot? I wouldn't even call it a reboot. I just feel like you're alchemizing bit by bit, and I don't feel like it's over. I feel like it's going to keep happening, you elevating in consciousness and seeing things from another perspective. And I feel like psychic gifts, I feel like, are going to break for you. I am really picking up clairaudience and mediumship abilities as well. I feel like for some of you guys as well, clairvoyance is breaking, because I'm being shown whenever somebody's shutting their eyes, they're seeing heavy visions. Really, really heavy visions, like closing the eyes, and then I'm just being shown like rapid visions coming through, or spirit coming through clairvoyantly, and then you're like, whoa, what is that? And I'm being told to say, if that's happening to you, that is clairvoyancy. That's what's breaking. The ringing in the ears, I feel, is going to be strong for some of you guys if you're like registering that with clairaudience. But there's a lot of psychic gifts shifting, but I also feel there's aspects of your personality that are revealing itself, and I feel like that may be confusing you. Maybe in the past you were somebody that gave a lot, and now your higher self's coming through to be like, well, I'm ready to receive. But then a part of you is looking back and going, wait, is that wrong? Because in the past you may have been in that energy of overgiving, and you were taught that if you were receiving, it was wrong. So now when you're stepping into that energy of receiving and saying, I know what I deserve, you may be feeling a bit confused, like, wait a minute, that's not right. So there's little bits of confusion happening as you're adjusting into this new version of you. And like I said, it is being phased right now. But what Spirit's message is right now is for you to go with the flow, and listen to your intuition and just let everything flow the way that it needs to. It's almost reminding me of, like, you know, when you start a new game, like, so you're playing what's it called, Super Mario, and you're getting used to the controllers and you can't remember what button was jump, and you're jumping over the hole, but you forgot what button was jump, and then you just run straight down into the hole. Like, there's a feeling of that, of like, I can't quite adjust to this new, it almost feels like you feel like you're living in a new incarnation. Like, that's something that's coming through. You may even be looking back at like times where your heart chakra was maybe in like an oversharing, overgiving sense, and being like, remember when I was like so wrapped up in my emotions? I'm not like that now. Am I losing my emotions? Like, there's a feeling of that coming through, and it's not that you're losing your emotions at all. It's just balance is being restored. Some of you guys may have been always in the higher realms, and now you're being called to focus more in the physical realm, and you may be thinking, hang on a minute, am I losing my gifts? No such thing. You're not losing your gifts. You're just being called into the present moment right now, because you're balancing that energy out. And I feel like there's a lot of balancing happening as you're adjusting. And normally, like, I find when we have an expansion in a particular area, once that energy adjusts, it's like we've gone from being overextensive in that area. So say now we were having an upgrade in our crown chakra. Once we've downloaded everything that needed to happen and our crown chakra has expanded and it's been hypersensitive, when it kind of falls in line with the other chakras, we can almost feel a little bit of a disconnect to it, because we would have been so hypersensitive to it for a little while, and it just takes a moment to get used to. And I just feel like there's something about all of your chakras as well balancing themselves out and falling into alignment. And I feel like that's just like a little confusing to you, because I feel like there's something about before, so I feel like there's something you've purged, or it's just an enlightenment like period you've been through. But before, I feel like certain chakras were quite out of balance, in the sense that like some were like underactive and some were really overactive, and I see a balance happening there. And I see you like feeling almost like a little bit stuck, or like, where do I move to right now? What's going on? With the 5 of Wands, I'm sensing a lot of confusion. If you've noticed, I've been finding it hard to like, I hope I'm explaining everything correctly, because I'm finding it hard to like explain things, because I feel like I'm fogged. Like, there's a lot of fog around me. I don't know what's going on. So apologies if I'm not making sense. I hope I'm making sense for you guys. But that it's just something that you're going through right now as you're learning your roots. Like, you're learning this, how to walk this new walk. And there's a lot, I wouldn't say it's a lot alchemizing, it's just like the cloth's being pulled from certain parts of yourself that you're now adjusting to. You couldn't see them before because they were buried under maybe karma that you had to work through. Maybe they were buried in your subconscious. Maybe they just hadn't been activated yet because it wasn't time to be activated yet. Now they're being activated. Now you're becoming aware of them and you're adjusting to them. So allow this time to just like, you know, when you first start like driving a car and you get taken to like a car park or something like that and you have like a test run, allow this time to just be a little bit of a test run, because I feel like there's a lot shifting and changing. You may find that you want to shift up your diet. You may find that you're wanting to shift your interior and change your interior, and maybe I'm hearing somebody might be getting a new car. That's just something that came through, or even just your style or something like that. There's this feeling, but they are taking me to the 4th house, so like the home being shifted, as well as your own internal world being shifted and how you react to things. There's a lot of that going on, and Spirit's saying allow yourself to just be in the demo mode right now. Try on a couple of hats and see what suits you, because you're on a bit of an adventure right now of like finding yourself in a way. I don't feel you're necessarily asking yourself, who am I? I feel like it's more just discovering things and kind of being like, okay, well, I'm feeling this way. Is this normal? Is this like what's going on here? Why do I feel this way? There's new layers of yourself coming through, and I feel like you're becoming incredibly self-aware. There's a feeling of you becoming self-aware and feeling very grounded as to where you're at. And I do feel like it's an enlightenment period you've been on, only because sometimes when we go through a lot of crown chakra, third eye activations, our higher chakras are activating, and we are on that enlightenment period, we can feel like a soul without a physical body. And we'll download a lot in that time period. But then when we're brought back into our physical body to implement what we've just learned in that other period, we almost feel like we've just incarnated for the first time, and this human body is really weird to us. And I feel like that's something you may be going through right now as you're navigating, you know, navigating the avatar. It literally feels like a different incarnation that I feel like you're stepping into, and I feel like there's a lot of confusion coming in. And I don't know why this is only going to be for a select few of you, and if you don't believe in this, it's fine. But I don't know if you've heard of soul walk-ins, where people believe that two souls will decide at certain points to inhabit one physical body at a time. So one soul will inhabit, learn a bunch of lessons, and then when it's time to dip out, another soul will step in, and it's like they'll take over the avatar. And then there's usually a big shift when that happens. And even though I don't feel like there hasn't necessarily been a soul walk-in for you guys, what can happen sometimes is the less developed part of the soul, because we are multidimensional, will incarnate into the physical body, and then when there's a lot of tune-ups going on and there's some sort of ascension, a higher part of the soul, a more developed part of the higher self, will then step forward, and it can feel like a soul walk-in because you almost feel like a different person. And I feel like that's something that some of you guys may be going through, not a lot of you, but it's just something I felt like I needed to say for those that it would resonate for, because it almost feels like that with this newness coming in. So if that sounds like something intriguing, you can Google and look into that further, like soul walk-ins it's called. I've never been called to push a message like that, but that just came through. Yeah, with the Knight of Wands, when we look at the Knight of Wands as well, it's like he doesn't just go rushing forward like the Knight of Swords. He has his foot on the ground and he's really looking at where he's going. And I really do feel like there's just an adventure you're on right now. And I feel like in the past as well, you've been used to looking at everything from a bird's eye view, because there's this feeling like you're on the ground level and moving around the actual town now, instead of looking at it from a higher perspective. And it's just like, oh my god, I'm like one of these humans now, I'm moving like this now, I don't quite know what to do. And I feel like even though you see the bird's eye view because you've seen that map, you know, when you were going through that enlightenment period, or maybe for just the majority of your life, I feel like now you're using that map to your own advantage to maneuver into the physical world. And it's just something that may seem confusing to you, but there's a purpose, and that purpose with the Empress at the back of the deck is so that you can focus on this physical world right now and your physical self to implement what it is that you're manifesting in the physical, and actually do the physical work of focus on the physical body right now and the physical avatar. I feel like you've spent a lot of time away from maybe the humanness of yourself, and I feel like now I feel like you may have gone through an ego death, because there's this feeling of like building the ego back up. What do we like? What don't we like? Building the ego death back up in a healthy way. What are we learning now? And finding not new attachments, but new desires and loves for the physical things that are around us. There is a feeling of that coming through. So all of this has a purpose. I feel like you're building yourself back up. You may have decided what you wanted to do in regards to a career in that enlightenment period. You may have done a full 180 and found something new, or you may have like had a lot of manifestations that you may have been trying to attract in that enlightenment period, and now you're being brought into the physical, like, right, well, now you've seen the bird's eye view, now you've felt it, now it's time to physically do it and bring it into existence. And that swap of energy is just a little bit, oh, I don't know what's going on right now. There is a feeling of that, but like I said, there's a purpose, and it's to bring you into this Empress energy. Because when we look at the Empress, we put her next to the High Priestess. The High Priestess is like ruler of the higher realm. She's very connected to spirit. But when we have the Empress, she's utilized the energy of the higher realms and brought it into the physical to plant those seeds. And I feel like you have always kind of been this High Priestess, or you've been through a period of being the High Priestess, and now you're being called to become the Empress. That's why you're going through what you're going through. And I feel like, especially with the Three of Pentacles as well, I almost feel like the world is almost teaching you again now. I feel like you've learned a lot, and I feel like the world is kind of teaching you. It's like you're becoming a master of earth. You've just mastered the higher realms, you're becoming a master of the earthy realms. There's something like that coming through that you're learning, and I just feel like it's confusing as you're being wired into a different energy. So let's pull your next cards. I almost feel when I'm tapping into your collective, and it's probably why I've been having trouble getting my words out, or at least I felt like I've been having trouble getting my words out, because there's confusion that I'm tapping into that I'm then confusing myself. So I may be speaking fine, but I feel this confusion, because it's like I almost feel like I'm in my physical body, but then I'm still kind of in the higher realms, and I'm resisting fully going into my physical body right now because it's confusing to me. But then I know I shouldn't be spacing out and going into the higher realms because there's something needed in the physical, and I'm like going back and forth and resisting, you know, and I don't really know, like I don't get, like there's a feeling of that. I feel like you're being filtered into the physical body, like it literally feels like that in phases. Yeah, and I feel like I feel like you may be going through a period right now, whereas every time you think you've got your feet in the ground, it's flipping again, because you're being phased into the physical world to implement what you would have learned in the other phase that you were in, the enlightenment period, or the ego death, or whatever it is that you would have gone through. Like you're implementing it and you're being phased in, and it's like, I don't know, I'm trying to give you the feeling that I'm feeling, but then I guess you're feeling it too, so you know what I mean. It's a confusing thing to put your finger on, to kind of explain what you're feeling right now. I feel like I want to look at my hands and be like, whoa, I'm really in this bitch, like, you know, I'm really on earth. It's pretty crazy, like, oh my god, I'm actually a human. Like, that's how I feel. I want to look at life like, whoa, I'm actually here existing and stuff, and I'm breathing, and it's wild. There's a feeling of that coming through. Pile 2, what message does the universe have for my pile 2s? We have this sea goddess of courage, authentic communication. I'll pull one more and then we'll channel these 2 cards. One more card, please, Spirit Guides. What messages does the universe have for my pile 2s? We have the Botanical Sea Temple, blooming opportunities. I love these cards. I was telling pile 1, because I love cards when they have the foil on the side, and I've never seen it blue before, so that really excited me. What have we got at the back of the deck? Sea Goddess of Momentum, consistent communication. We have communication twice. Okay, have you, hang on a second, have you been I do feel like it's an enlightenment period you've gone through, or maybe you've just been learning a lot or focusing on one thing, but there's a sense of like, I've accumulated all of the knowledge that my soul needs right now. Now it's time for me to get it out there. And with communication, it doesn't always have to be writing a book or speaking in front of people. It could be like through art, or it could be through music, or it could be on a platform like YouTube or something like that. There's this feeling of I've reached a level of understanding of something, or higher knowledge of something, And now it's time for me to get it out there. Now it's time for me to be in this physical body and get it out there. There's something about what you've learned or what you've come to understand getting out there. Whether that's like in a tarot deck, like creating your own tarot deck, whether that's like writing a movie. It doesn't even have to be about spirituality. It could be about anything, but it's to do with what you've just learned. There's a feeling of like bringing that into the physical now. We have 2 cards with the word communication on there. So there's something that you're bringing from the higher realms into the physical that I feel like you could teach people, especially when it's going under the 3 of Pentacles. There's something about that. So if you've been thinking of getting on social media and starting something where you're talking about your experiences or what you've just been going through or anything like that, or you've wanted to put it in a book or a blog or something like that, it's like 100% like thumbs up for that. I feel like that's something, or even just like a creative endeavor where you could express that through something. I feel like that would be really good for you. Really good for you. And with blooming opportunities, there's almost this feeling of like, the more these layers are being shedded, the more you're pulling the cloth off these different parts of yourself, the more you're able to align with a certain career or a certain hobby or where you want to go next to certain people. So there's a feeling of that. And instead of being scared of these changes and these new feelings that are coming through, embrace them and see what they have to offer and what they want. See what they're connected to, because it's a part of you that's now blooming. So there's a reference of getting to know those parts that you can like implement them and give them their own creative endeavor to kind of bloom in. There's a feeling of that coming through, even if it's just a hobby. That's something that I'm being told. Yeah, I almost feel like all of these seeds you're becoming aware of now, and I feel like you're being told right now to focus on them so you can like really ground them into the physical and water, so that they can then have their own playground of opportunity and bloom to create an even, you know, bigger and brighter garden than what you would have had before, because now you've had all these new seeds. You know, maybe in the past in your garden you had some bananas and some strawberries, you know, now you're having the mangoes and celery, I don't know, I'm just naming things now, limes, lemons, whatever. So there's like these new opportunities coming out. So any of these weird feelings, you may be thinking, why am I feeling like that? Why do I feel the need to speak up and say these things? It's because there's a part of you where that can bloom. Does that make sense? So it's like, listen to it. What do you want to talk about? Listen to it. Don't push it down because it's uncomfortable, or you may have been told in the past that it's wrong. Allow it to come up and see what it wants. There's a feeling of that. I feel like that's why I was picking up on like the Peter Pan energy, like a new sort of journey, moving. It's like an adventure. I feel like there's a lot of sides to yourself that have been dormant. And it's like, oh, they're coming out now. You know, people are about to see all these colours. It's like a flamingo. No, a peacock. When they open their feathers and it's all... I don't know why I said flamingo, but that may be someone's spirit animal, flamingo. Pile number 2. What message does the universe have for my pile 2s right now? Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. What message does the universe have for my pile 2s right now? We have prayer. And I'll pull one more and then I'll channel these 2. I like the pinks here. I'm being told for you guys right now to listen to heart chakra meditations. It feels like singing bowls, heart chakra singing bowls, or just saying a lot of heart chakra affirmations. But I don't know, there's something about sound for you guys, because I feel like you're in that state of still downloading bit by bit, and I feel like when you're listening to heart chakra music, heart chakra singing bowls, I feel like it's gonna register with you more, because it's like it's kind of like aligning with your own DNA. It's like you're absorbing it. So there's something about heart chakra singing bowls right now, just to help you stabilize. Because I feel like you have a strong heart chakra, and I feel like that's a lot of the time where you'll ground and stabilize. So while these new energies are coming in, I feel like making sure you're centered in your emotional center and in your heart chakra, I think that would be very beneficial for you right now. Pile number 2. We have wild winds. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot changing, but it's like I wouldn't even say rebirth in it. It's like again, they're just showing me the cloths being pulled over parts of yourself. It almost feels like you've been living in this house for a long time and you've just realized there's a secret door, and then it just leads to Narnia, and you're like, oh my god, my whole world before was a lie, what's going on? Like there's this feeling of that, but it's within yourself. It's new layers of yourself being found. It feels like Narnia, you know. Why do we have prayer? Your spirit guides there's a message coming through that when you feel confused, or you're feeling worried, or you're feeling uncomfortable with these parts of shifting and changing, which is completely normal, your spirit guides are calling you to call on them to help ease you, because there's a reference that they're just wanting to kind of clarify where your guides for a reason. You can call us to assist you, but we can't assist you unless you give us the permission to intervene. So there's this energy of call us in, or call to us to help you in some sort of way, or whatever it is you're needing help with, feeling comfortable in this transition, feeling more like yourself, connecting to a certain chakra or something like that. You can call on them. They are listening, like their ears are open, they're ready. They don't have ears obviously because it's not a physical body, but you know that they're open to that, and when you call to them they can hear you. So call to them to guide you, like you're not walking on your own. So there's a reference that they keep referencing, like you're not walking on your own. Remember that you're not walking on your own. Like we are here, we can guide you. That's why we're your guides. You know, that's what guides means. There's a reference of that coming through, like we are here. And with wild winds, I just feel like this is more so coming through in the sense of like winds of change. That's really what I'm picking up here. I feel like there's a lot. I feel like you're being uprooted somewhere else. I almost feel like I'm thinking of like the page cards in tarot, like the Page of Swords. It's like you're on a new journey somewhere else now. You're navigating, it almost feels like a different realm. It kind of feels like that. You're navigating a new layer of self, and it's like you're getting used to it right now. That's literally what's going on. I feel like this reading was more so guys, as I was talking, I like had the cards like this, and I just like look at the back, and it literally says the shift with butterflies all over it. Yeah, you're literally with the wild wind, is like you're being shifted. I wouldn't say you're being shifted onto a new paradigm. I feel like this paradigm you're already on. You're already here. It's just like, how do I navigate this? How do I understand this new version of me? And I feel like that shift is what you're feeling right now. Like I always say, when the butterfly comes out of the cocoon, it must be really weird. You know, like you're used to being the caterpillar moving across the floor. You get out of the cocoon. You don't even have the same body anymore. You have wings. You know what I mean? Like, that must be very confusing, like, what even happened? Because they don't have Wikipedia. So the butterflies can't Google what's happening to me. Why have I got wings? They just got to deal with it, you know? They just got to be like, well, I guess I'm a butterfly now. Okay. And just deal with it. And I feel like that's something that you're learning right now. Like, oh my God, I have these wings. How on earth do they move? And even when you think of the way that the caterpillar would look at life, and then the butterfly, the caterpillar would have been used to looking at the ground level and looking at everything from a certain eye level, so everything would have looked a certain way to that caterpillar. But then the butterfly can fly really high, so they're looking at life from a completely different perspective because they're in the sky. And I feel like that's what's happening. Your whole shift of, I feel like you're looking at new perspectives right now, and you're being kind of filtered into it, and that's something that's going on right now. And I respect that it's confusing, but Spirit's saying to just bear with and allow yourself to just get used to where you're at right now. And Spirit's also saying don't rush. I don't know if there's something you're trying to rush forward with, or you're maybe trying to push this transformation to feel like present, or feel like a human, or just feel like yourself. And Spirit's saying don't rush, just allow it to unravel the way it needs to. Yeah, I feel like this reading was more so the universe kind of giving you peace of mind as to where you're at right now. Like everything's going according to plan. Your higher self's coming through very calm. It's funny because when I tap into the energy, I'm confused, but then when I tap into the higher self, it's like everything's calm. I feel very calm. I'm very happy with the progress we've made. Like it feels like that. But then when I go into the energy, I'm like you know, because the ego does that, and the human brain does that. It's, you know, that happens. But yeah, I feel like just allowing yourself to get used to every part of you right now. You know what I mean? Like a baby when it stands up and walks for the first time. I'm just being told for you to just you know, get used to maybe falling over sometimes and getting back up, just getting used to where you're at, because there's a shift. Yeah, there's definitely a shift that's happening right now, literally, in the cards confirm that. And do you know what's behind that? Darkness. So some of you guys may have been going through a dark night of the soul and coming out of it, because we literally have darkness here. And then the shift, so and we have death there, which is like ego death. So death, darkness, and then the shift. That's quite funny. Okay, so that's what's going on right now, pile number 2, and that's what the message, that's the message that the universe had for you. I really hope this was able to bring you comfort, and I hope you enjoyed this reading. So hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey pile 3, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what messages the universe has for you. So you guys chose the carnelian. I'm gonna pop that up here. We're gonna get straight in. Straight away tapping into your energy, pile 3. Like, I'm being greeted with a really strong sense of yellow. I feel like you're either going through solar plexus activations right now. I just see you stepping into the power of your solar plexus. I see it kind of like step into the forefront of your being right now as you're developing and maybe working through some wounds. So you may be going through or having a lot of karmic memories come up right now of where you felt disempowered, of where people took you out of your energy. But it's happening for you to really step into that power, because I really do feel like when I'm tapping into you, the solar plexus is heavily being highlighted, and that's what you're working through right now. And I feel like that's the chakra that you're having a lot of work, and there's a lot of alchemizing being done right now. I feel like it's at the forefront of your being, and I felt it as soon as I tapped in. So you may be really drawn to the color yellow right now. Wearing the color yellow, you may be drawn to certain crystals that correlate to the solar plexus, so like citrine, yellow calcite, my mind completely went blank then, sunstone, crystals like that. But there's this essence of like yellow that's kind of like overcoming me. I'm also being taken to like chamomile and sunflowers and things like that, if you've been really drawn to them, because I feel like it's really having your full focus. Normally it's like one chakra is being activated and there's another one waiting to come in after, and things like it feels like that sometimes. Whereas when I tap into you collectively, it's like solar plexus is like right there. You're really working and kneading through it right now. So I just thought I'd get that out, if that, you know, resonates, because that's what I pick up when I tap into your collective. So pile number 3, please, spirit guides. Pile number 3. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides. Pile number 3. What message does the universe have for my pile number 3s right now? What message does my pile number 3s need right now? What message does my pile number 3s need right now? Right now, I'm being called for you guys to focus on your self-care. You know, like I was saying, some of you guys may be having karmic memories coming up of where you felt disempowered, or maybe where you just didn't feel confident maybe in the way you looked. There's an energy right now of you focusing on self-care and really nurturing you. I am being taught like self-affirmations in the mirror, but I feel like it's more so for you just doing things that show your appreciation to self. I know some people, they'll have like an altar dedicated to themselves, and put offerings down just to themselves. Like there's almost a feeling of you really connecting to you and showing, it's like showing yourself your own worth. Like there's a feeling of that, really hyping yourself up, making, you know, maybe dressing up just because it's you and you deserve to, you know, feel good, or buying yourself something because it's a treat for you because you deserve it. Like there's a feeling of you guys really focusing on building yourself up right now and focusing on nurturing yourself. There's a strong message coming through. Pile number 3, what messages does the universe have for my pile 3s right now? What messages does the universe have for my pile 3s? We have the 5 of Wands. And it's funny that the solar plexus's element is fire. We have 2 lots of fire cards here. Pile number 3, what message does the universe have for my pile 3s? What message does the universe have for my pile 3s? Am I using these? Yeah, okay. Look at all this fire, and then you have the King of Swords in the middle. Yeah, you may be going through a phase right now, pile number 3, where like while you're bigging yourself up, I feel like some people may be overstepping your boundaries. Look at all this fire. Oh my God, that's a lot of fire. There's just this feeling of you feeling on the defense, and I feel like some people may be trying to overstep your boundaries or mimicking parts of yourself where you didn't feel that connected to self. You may be learning to have boundaries and put in those boundaries with other people and really assert yourself. And I feel like you've been working on that, but you may find that now you're doing it, you're getting pushed back, and maybe it's triggering your inner child where you were called to dim your light. And there's this feeling of, don't allow these words to trigger you back into silence or to trigger you back into a seed. Like, you are now a flower, like blooming. Like, don't allow that. And I feel like these triggers are coming up for you to really put them to bed and really kind of like stand on that hill and stand in your truth. Like, there is a feeling of that coming through. Yeah, and there's almost this feeling in your energy right now where you may be feeling defensive, like everyone's out to get me. And I just feel like it's that karmic loop, those worries and those wounds of your inner child where you were scared of maybe somebody being mean to you or scared of somebody putting you down. They're coming up for you to really look at them, to kind of like transmute and realize like, you have no power over me. I'm being shown the Labyrinth movie when Sarah turns to Jareth and she realizes that he actually never had any power over her anyway, and she's like, you have no power over me. And I'm being shown that, like, I feel like that's a journey that you're on right now, really standing in your essence and really waking up to your truth, and it's something coming through really, really strongly. And I feel like with the King of Swords being in the middle as well, I feel like it may be a little bit of a battle in your mind, because maybe you're learning to really stand in your truth or be very authentic or say certain things or put boundaries in with people, and it's like, you know that it's right to do that, but then you're having pushback from people that maybe benefited from you not having boundaries, so they may be pushing back or trying to just push back to see how far that they can. And I feel like it's triggering then the inner child to be like, oh, maybe it is more safer to be quiet. Maybe it is more safer to shut up. Maybe it is more safer to not have these boundaries and just, do what they want. And then there's, even when your inner child's being triggered like that, there's still a part of you like, no, like, no way, I'm putting my foot down. And I feel like it's a battle you're going through right now, within your own self, of like asserting yourself. But then it's almost like you're teaching your inner child right now, this is how it always should have been done. We always should have been, confident in ourselves. We always should have been in our power. This is how it's being done. So it's almost like your higher self's coming through to teach your inner child. But while the inner child's learning, it's learning where it felt disempowered, and then there's purging coming up. And I feel like that's something that's happening right now in regards to that activation. But at the end, I'm being shown the strength card in my mind's eye. I feel like you're taming those wounds, you're taming those shadows to work for you, and I feel like it's something that you're working through. You may even have gotten with the 5 of Wands in this conflict, and then I'm looking at the 7 of Wands over here. I do feel this element, like you may have even got into an argument with somebody, or you may have just been in a situation where you really had to hold your own, and somebody maybe attacked you for your opinion, or attacked you for something that you said, or just having your own idea or going your own way. There's a feeling of that, but there's this reference from Spirit and the universe, like, keep standing in your power. Anyone that doesn't like that, they're allowed to have their own opinions without having to tear down yours. Like, there's a difference between a debate and an argument. We're allowed opinions. We can't try and force somebody to have a different one. And I feel like there's people almost trying to force you out of what you are, almost, because it's like triggering them. Or it's 11 minutes on the clock. Let me grab it. If that's a number you've been seeing, I hope it's I'm gonna put it by here because I don't want to lean over and fall over. But I feel like there's people like either getting triggered by just you stepping into your power. Maybe you're shining very brightly, they don't like it. Maybe they always saw that power in you and they were scared you just tap into it. Or maybe they can see you stepping into your power. Maybe they feel like you being on that pedestal, they won't be able to reach you. So they're almost tugging at it and pulling at it and seeing how far it can maybe be pushed. And I feel like you feel like you're being tested right now with this 9 of Wands. Like, you're feeling that within yourself. Like, why are people coming for me? Why am I triggering people? Why is that? But I feel like you're learning to really stand in your truth right now, and who you are. Because you know your heart as well. Like, I'm being told to say, like, you know your heart. You're not going out arguing with anyone. You're not, being very confident to make other people feel insecure. You're just being confident because that's you. And being told that the right people will be inspired by that, not try and push you off that pedestal. And that's something that you're really working through right now as you're tapping into your power. And I'm being told that you've actually done a really brilliant job at getting rid of the weeds and kind of like paving the way for you to step into your power. Because when you see somebody stepping into that power, especially when they would have been disempowered in that past, there would have been a whole trail of like shadow and just weeds that they would have had to literally pull up from the root for them to have that path to their own empowerment. And I feel like I'm being told by spirit, like you've already been pulling up those weeds. So there's almost like a clap and a well done from spirit, like at how much you've already alchemized. And now it's like you kind of like I'm being told like you've kind of like hacked your way through the weeds to the throne, and you're now sitting on the throne, and you just kind of like polish the crown. You put the crown on your head, and all the people that maybe don't see their own way to their own throne, it's like they're almost trying to like pull you off it, or just telling you that it's wrong because it's not what they'd like, and it's not their life, it's your life. And there's a feeling of that, like stand in your truth. And that again will reveal who's meant to be in your life and who can stand with you and who is choosing not to out of their own self, really. Like there's a feeling of that. I feel like for you guys, pile number 3 as well, the more you are tapping into yourself, you may be feeling a lot. I don't know whether you're achieving something, achieving goals. Maybe you've come into money. Maybe you're just like feeling good. Like I'm being shown just somebody walking down the street feeling good, and there's this aura like emitting from you. And I feel like maybe people that were like really friendly with you or cool with you are starting to like be a little bit envious. That happens. It happens to everyone when they come up in a way, because it's like I saw this quote, and it was like people want you to do good but not better than them. And I just feel like that may be an essence for some of you guys, or some people around you, and not even just people around you in your immediate life, but people that would have been in your circle in the past. Like there's a feeling of that. So there's a feeling to be very discerning, and I feel like you're being discerning, because I almost feel like you're in this energy right now. Why have people got a problem with me, or why am I feeling a little bit attacked right now? And it's because you're shining, and it's like I like to say, casting a light on people's shadows, and it's nothing you're doing wrong at all. There's this reference to like stay in your Queen of Swords energy and just speak your truth. And not even just that, but again in this King of Swords energy, like there's just this essence of you grounding where you're at, and just I just feel like there's just this energy of like, be you authentically. That's all I want to say to you. Be you authentically. Allow this to just pass and stay in your own truth. Like there's this feeling of like, I said what I said. You know what I mean? I said what I said. That's my opinion. Have you seen that meme? Who was it? I don't know if it was Nene Leakes or someone. And she's like, that's my opinion. I don't know if it was her. But I just shared that in my brain. Like you're allowed an opinion. You're allowed a voice. And anyone who sees different, they just enjoyed when you didn't have that voice, because it made them feel more comfortable. But you've always had this voice. Allow your words to come out, or you've always had this confidence and this power within you. Allow it to just shine. The right people are going to get inspired by you, is the message from the universe. So let's pull on some oracle cards for you. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides. What message? Yeah, you're stepping into your own power. I feel like when I'm thinking of the Strength card, I feel like almost like you've already tamed the shadows. Like I almost feel like you've already tamed the beast. You've already tamed the lion. You're just walking with it now, when people are like, how? That's wrong. Like there's almost like a feeling like that. And it's not everybody. I feel like you do have people in your corner. For most of you, it's just some people are, I don't know. It's just like they either didn't expect it, or you've blown something out of the park, or you've really reached success. Maybe you were quiet about it and then you reached it. I find people with a lot of Scorpio placements, like they'll move towards their goals, but it's like almost in silence. Like they'll be doing it, but they don't feel the need to shout it out. And then it kind of like blows up, or they reach that success but nobody saw it, and then it's like, oh, it's like almost like blindsided. And I feel like there's a little bits of envy. I'm hearing the Nicki Minaj song Envy, but I'm being told it's nothing for you to worry about because the right people are going to be inspired and stick around you. But right now you're being called to stand in your truth and not second guess, because your higher self is teaching your inner child the new ropes now, is what I'm being told. Pile number 3. What message does the universe have for pile number 3? Please, spirit guides. I don't know why it's coming through. It doesn't sound like it's anything to do with the reading, but it's just a song that came through. FK Twigs in the Weekend, Tears in the Club. It's nothing to do with this reading. It just came through. I don't know if there's like a message in that song for someone. Maybe someone's listening to it, but it just came through. Tears in the Club by FK Twigs. Sacred Burial Temple, Embrace Transition. Yeah, it's almost like the transition for you that was blooming. Like the sunflower coming out. I have these flowers, I can't remember the name of them, they're in my garden, and when the sun isn't out they close, and then when the sun's out they come out and they almost look like sunflowers. They're not sunflowers, but they open up when the sun's out, and then the minute the sun goes behind the clouds they start to like go in, and then you know, it's like a rainy day, they're completely closed and they'll only open up for the sun. And I almost feel like the sun's shining on you right now and you're opening up, you know, and people are like, close again, it's making me feel bad, I haven't even budded yet, close again, and you're like, no, I'm staying out, like that's why I'm here. That's the transition I feel like you're on right now. It's like a peacock came up in pile 1, or was it pile 2? I don't know, the peacock came up before, but I'm being shown the peacock with the feathers. There's like a feeling of that. And the peacock always had those feathers anyway. It just chose to open them. It realized they were there and opened them. I feel like that's something that's happening right now. And I feel like a lot of what you're shining out is who you already were anyway. It's not anything like different. It's just who you were. Maybe you just felt more, maybe you were taught to feel more comfortable if you kept that part of you quiet. Priestess of Purity, crystalline purity. Yeah, it's almost like your true essence is kind of like shining through. And it's very powerful, but it's then, you know, when we are shining something out of us, people that lack it, they're either going to be drawn to it and use this as inspiration to shine that out within themselves, or they're going to want to attack it because it's like, I don't have that. Oh, that's making me feel less than. I need to dim it out because I don't know where mine is yet. And it's a shame people do that, but it happens, and I feel like you've dealt with it your whole life, but now it's like, I really don't care who I'm triggering now. I'm just gonna shine it out. I'm just gonna be me. I'm just gonna wear those clothes. I saw a TikTok the other day, and there was this girl upset, and she was in the gym and she looked really good. Like, she looked really good, and her body looked good, like everything. She just looked amazing. And this woman came up to her and was like, oh, I don't know what the woman said, but she kind of like really put it down and was like, are you comfortable actually wearing that here? Like, I don't think it's very flattering for you. I think you should like go home and change. And the girl felt really insecure, and she was on TikTok, and when she revealed the outfit, she looked so good in it. And it just shows the insecurity of some people. Like, when you're shining, it's like people want to dim it. And I feel like you've been subject to that. I don't know why I felt the need to share that TikTok story, but I just feel like you've dealt with people like that. When you've looked good, people are like, oh, don't do that. You know, I feel like you've dealt with it. And it's just like, I'm being told for you to shine. I just heard shine, baby, shine. We have the back of the deck, Sea Goddess of Transmutation, celebrate change. And look at her shining out. Look at that, the colours of the sun. The yellow, orange, and red shining out here. Celebrate change. It's like you're blooming. That's how it feels. But you're confused at the moment, I feel, because it's like, is it right to do this? Is it right to say this? Am I okay to, like, there's still those questions, because your inner child's like, oh my God, we haven't done this in such a long time, and we were told that it was wrong. Like, it's something that you're dealing with and healing. And I think it's healing for your inner child as you're embracing it too. Because it's almost like the older self is like protecting the inner child. Like, no, we can do this. We can say, you know, we can say what we feel. I keep hearing I'm allowed an opinion. I don't know if you've said that to someone. I keep hearing I'm allowed an opinion. I'm allowed to speak. I keep hearing that I'm allowed an opinion, I'm allowed to speak, I'm allowed to say what I feel. Like that keeps coming through. So we have the Drought card as well. I'll pull one more and then I'll channel. My voice is going today. Oh, I feel like you maybe having activations in your throat chakra then. That makes sense. Because I keep hearing I'm allowed an opinion, I'm allowed to speak. I'm allowed to say that, like I'm allowed to do that. I'm allowed to have a different opinion to you. I keep hearing that coming through. Maybe you've had like very overbearing parents that have wanted you to follow what they've wanted, and maybe you're breaking free of that and breaking out of that limitation. That could be something, because I keep hearing it. And I've dealt with situations like that with family where I've not agreed and to like a really high degree, and I know what it's like when you have to like stand there and go against what other people want you to do. But I'm being told you're doing it very well. You're just in that phase right now where it's like you're on the defense. That's just something that's coming through. Pile number 3. What message does the universe have for my pile 3s right now? Oh, I've cut my finger. Oh, didn't know when I did that. Sight of the Owl is the next card that we have. The thing is as well, especially with this Owl card as well, like you're actually full of wisdom, very intuitive. You see through people, and do you know what it is? I feel like you've like known in the past when people were lying to you. I feel like you've known in the past when people were trying to put you down, but you've politely not shown it. Like it was almost like, I'm not gonna like reveal this, or I'm not gonna say it, because I feel like you're quite empathic. So it's like, I don't want to hurt that person, or I don't want to make them feel bad, even though they may be doing me dirty. There's a feeling of that, like I can see through you. So maybe now there's a part of you that just doesn't want to let things slide anymore, and is like, you know, catching the hand before it grabs the food off the plate. Like, this is my plate, don't. And I feel like that's new to you, and I feel like it's new to other people around you that have been used to you too. So it's a lot of adjusting, and maybe a lot of talks that may not be very comfortable right now that are happening as you're stepping into your truth, because you have a lot of wisdom, and I feel like you have a lot of beautiful wisdom to share and say. But at the same time, as like, even in like my line of work, if you saw my YouTube post the other day, like I'll share messages from the divine, and it's what needs to be said in that moment. But then when the video goes up, that can trigger people if they're not ready to hear it, or that can upset people if they're not ready to hear it, or they don't want to, you know, tap into that, and they could then distort it and look at it in a different way. But it's my truth, because it's something that came through. I can't sugarcoat it if that's what was coming through. I know I lead with my heart, and I care for every viewer who watches. You can't take me out of that energy. That's what I'm channeling, you know, with love. I do everything with love, and I feel like that's something that you're learning as well. Like I'm doing this with love. I have this wisdom, and I know this is like how I'm feeling. You don't have to take it on, but I'm allowed to say it, because that's my truth. Like, there's a feeling of that. This is my truth. This is my truth. And with the Drought, I just feel like it almost feels like a drought of the sun, though. It almost just feels like you haven't been so focused on your solar plexus, or maybe your own wants and needs for so long, and now it's like you're realizing that there was a drought there, and you're bringing, you know, a lot of that to you. And I just feel like that's something that's happening right now. I just keep being shown the sun shining down on me, and it's like activating parts of me, and it's activating the fire in me, you know. And that's something that I feel is happening for you. It may have even triggered on through Aries season. That's something that I'm being told. It may have triggered on through Aries season. So the back of the deck, my throat's kind of going. Have you guys got like a sore throat? It's like throat chakra energy. Like, I want to speak, and then I'm like holding myself back, and I'm trying to catch my breath to say what I need to say. It's like, oh, like that's how I feel in my throat right now. Let me just sip water before I continue. It's just something that I'm picking up. So you could have had manifestations as well of like a throat chakra imbalance, like sore throat and things like that, because that's something that I'm picking up. Let me just get that out of view. The back of the deck, we have Ivy. I don't know why I just looked at it like envy. I don't know why. but I'm being told to say you're doing everything right. Keep speaking your truth. You know who you are. You're a very kind person. I'm being told, and you care for people. So just speak your truth. Is the reference coming here, and with the 4 and the 1 adding up to 5, 5 is ruled by Mercury, which is, the planet of communication and information. And I just feel like you have a lot to say that could really help people, and you have a light to shine that could really, aid people as well. With the Ivy card, it's more so, especially with it all being green, connecting to the heart chakra, grounding yourself in the present moment as well. It's like, if people are trying to call you out of your name or trying to put you down, tap back into your heart chakra and ground yourself in the physical, and really look at where these people are telling on themselves. When someone wants to tear someone down, there's a reason for it. They're projecting usually. So there's a reference of like grounding yourself and really looking at that person with face value and really using your beautiful intuition that you have and going, right, why are you saying this to me then? Why are you actually, putting me down then? Why do you actually want me to be quiet? What is it that I'm saying that's triggering you? Or what is it that I'm doing that's triggering you? Because there's a reason you want me to be quiet right now. And I feel like there's a reference of that every time somebody may be trying to pull you off your pedestal in a way. Really look at it like, oh, why have I really triggered them then? What is it that's caused that? What are they saying to me, even in a friendly way that I can see through? You know what I mean? Because when you do that, I feel like when you really look at human beings and you listen to human beings, they'll tell on themselves a lot. That's something that I've learned, like that you don't even have to say anything. Like you just have to be in that state of receiving, and you can watch someone speak and tell on themselves. And I feel like there's a reference for you to do that anytime somebody is making you feel less than, and really look at where that's coming from and why they're doing it, and then use that to alchemize and empower yourself. You want to shut this out of me, I'm gonna do it more. You know what I mean? Like I've had people on my channel say, tell me to like not post any more videos and things like that. Like I'm gonna listen to somebody, like a comment like that, oh yeah, I'm gonna stop doing videos because you don't like the way I talk. No, I'm gonna keep doing it, so just listen. You know what I mean? That would be very, comfortable for you if I did that. That would be very, that would make you very happy, but it wouldn't have me in my power. So no thanks, that's not my reality. So there's a reference of you stepping into that, and just keep shining is the message from the universe. I'm hearing the Christiana thing. You're doing amazing, sweetie. That's a reference coming through. You're doing amazing, sweetie. And I finish as the lawnmower outside goes, so that's cool. Spirit said we're done. So yeah, part 3, that is what I had for you. I really hope this resonated, and I hope it brought you clarity. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if this did resonate. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching.